All right, for this pre-runner build, I feel like it's better for me to do quicker update videos, maybe 1 or 2 a week to kind of show you where I'm at in all the stages. I feel like it's better to show you videos more frequently so you can see all the mistakes and everything we're going through. If you are doing a build along, you're gonna wanna see various things rather than me skipping big steps. So without further ado, let's see how this kit fits on the Aliexpress chassis that we chose. So there's the instructions. I've got them loaded up on my phone. Front and rear bag. So I'm not working with the full SCX 10, so I just have this cheap chassis from Aliexpress. So it looks like you're just removing some of the hardware and then replacing it with the other stuff. So I'll just get on with that, but definitely follow the instructions. Driver's side I-beam. Still gotta put the little ball studs in here. The worst part's complete. The links are assembled. And just so you guys know, I'm essentially just doing a test fit because I'm not sure if this Aliexpress chassis has all the right mounting points. It said it's for SCX2, but you know, I just want to make sure before I go any further. So we're just doing a dry run test fit on the suspension arms. I've got the front I-beams assembled with the little ball studs in there, and I'm just sort of going through and orienting everything. I have to order steering knuckles. It does come with 2-wheel drive shafts, so this is part 2 of the video, and I just want to make sure if you guys are doing a build along, if you do order this chassis from AliExpress, that you don't go any further and you want to make sure that everything fits. If you have a regular SCX10 1 or 2, you shouldn't have any problem, but I'm not sure if the location of these holes in the fitment is going to be perfect with the Proline kit. So that's for part 2 of the series, just dry fit, and then I'll show you some body components as well that I've been printing, many hours of printing, well over 20 hours, and we've got the main panels done, but I'll show you those in a minute. So that's the driver's side shock hoop installed with part of the I-beam. Just one note, this Aliexpress chassis, it seems like the C-rails are slightly thicker, maybe by 1 mil or half a mil. So when this, I don't know if you can see that, when the shock hoop goes on this way, presses on, this piece is tight, ever so slightly tight right in here. So it fits on, it just kind of flexes the plastic ever so slight. I'm not saying there's a lot of deflection, but it definitely requires pushing on. So I'm going to trim off the plastic in here, but for now it does fit, as you can see, and I don't think it's flexing it to change the adjustment here at all. So I think it's fine. I can either file away the metal until it slides on perfect or trim away the plastic. So far we'll see if there's any other problems. It may be worth it just using an actual SCX 10 chassis, because this could turn into some issues, but we'll see. I'm gonna plow through this and we'll see what's up. Here's the driver's side link assembly, what that looks like. And essentially you are using this little hole here, that's going on like that. This slides through, and then there's an end cap which utilizes the bumper mount as well. So that goes like that. So that's what it looks like. Mounts there with the bumper, pivots. Boom, boom. Onto the other side. I'll show you on the passenger side here. This is actually not fitting that well. You can see it doesn't even go down. I'm going to trim away some of the plastic and center it on the holes. You could also file away some of the chassis and then repaint it black, but I'm going to path of least resistance, trim off some plastic. There's enough material there. It's not that much. It's like half a mil or a millimeter. Okay, so I compromised, filed away a bit of the metal, top and bottom, ground away with a little steel burr, a bit of the plastic. I find burrs give it a nice clean edge, so yeah, it's fitting on quite good now. Let's finish it up. Just like the driver's side, this pin goes in here, this slides on, this locates the other side of the pin, and then screws into the bumper mount. That's the orientation of all the links. The steering link on the passenger side goes in front of the steering link of the driver's side, and then the link that goes to the servo is in the center, and then this link goes straight across on the front. So that's the orientation. Now installing the radius arms, this skid, the gap between here and here, plastic from the Aliexpress skid, too narrow. So once again, Fitment not that great from the Aliexpress chassis. However, still workable. Only took shaving off a little bit of the flashing on the inside. I just used a regular file as well to clean it up. And so yeah, radius arms are installed, and use 16 mil M3s across here. I didn't have any because I'm sort of piecing this together, so I just used some stainless hardware that I had kicking around. So we'll move on to the back now. Front end success so far. Just a little bit of Fitment issues with the Aliexpress chassis. So I'd still say it's worth buying. Just obviously, if you're doing this project, you're going to already have the tools to do it. You're going to need, you know, your basic files, maybe a Dremel tool, things like that. So don't really get into this unless you have the tooling. But yeah, if you are following along this video, you probably already know that. So anyway, moving on to the back end. Rear links are installed. I'll show you that in a sec. One thing I want to show you though, first part of the rear end instructions is to install the battery tray. On this Aliexpress chassis, you can see, I don't know if you can see there, the holes for these 3 locations seem to be off a little bit, up and down. So yeah, turning out that this chassis, yes, still usable, but a few complications. So I'm probably gonna have to, I've just located the battery tray right now with one individual screw. I'm probably gonna have to just round out these holes up a little bit to make the holes line up. I did, however, manage to put one screw in and hold it on each side. So we'll see. It's just the battery tray. The suspension components went on just fine. All these holes located just fine. And you can really see the difference between the plastic quality, between the Proline stuff and then the inexpensive Aliexpress stuff. It works. 50 bucks for this chassis and then the I-beam kit. I don't know. I would be more inclined to try to get an SCX10 chassis from Axial. The rails and whatever parts you need. You could probably piece it together, finding a skid and bumper mounts. Since you only need rails, really, a skid and bumper mounts, and everything else kind of comes with it. You do need the rear shock hoops, and you need the internal portion here to mount the front shock hoops. So you do need some bits from the kit, but I don't know, however you want to chop it. 50 bucks for something from AliExpress, or trying to piece together an SCX10, 1 or 2, and or finding a donor SCX 1 or 2. Maybe a buddy's got one kicking around, or you got one kicking around. So yeah, so far the issues are C-rails are too thick up here, but managed to work them on with minimal effort, and then battery tray alignment issue. Suspension components are on in the rear. The axle I have ordered. It will be here within a week or 2. So now we can install the rear axle and see how that looks. You do have a few different mounting locations for the rear trailing arms, so that's pretty good. So all in all, we've got this on now. I've confirmed that this chassis will, for the most part, work with this project, and now I can kind of feel comfortable about going forward with everything. Onto the body. Let's check out some pieces that I've printed. And yeah, we're gonna do this in a sort of stage process. I know I'm not showing you guys complete finished products, but I do want to address the issues as we go along. I feel like you'll just see a little more issues and be able to decide how you want to approach this if you are doing one. All right, so let's talk about body parts. I'm just going to show you what I've printed. I've been printing them all week, and I'm just going to show you with a lot of the supports still on. I'm literally still working on it. So like I said, quicker updates. But yeah, I just peeled this off the bed. I've got to clean this up. But all in all, the quality of the prints, turning out excellent. This design is actually really nice. If you guys are printing your own panels, I'm sure you know struggling with 3D printers can be annoying, but that bamboo printer makes it a lot better. So, but yeah, that's the bed. Pretty wide fender flares. Clearly I gotta clean up all this. And I already had an incident of cracking this here, so we'll have to sand that down. But yeah, a little flimsy, but this gets bolted onto the rear cage. So a big part of this build is the rear cage, which holds the spare tires. It also has the shock mounts, so keep that in mind. On the chassis, they give you new rear shock mounts, but I'm gonna be using the shock mounts from the rear cage from this 3D file. So that's the bed, looks pretty decent. We got the front end here, turned out excellent. Very little lines on it. I didn't even use the highest resolution. I think this was the 0.12 resolution. If I used the highest setting, honestly, it would have taken so long. Negligible difference too. This is a 0.4 tip, just with some Elegoo matte white. So yeah, pretty simple stuff. I got 2 rolls on Amazon. Clearly I have to clean up all this, right? Clean up all this, sand it all. So, you know, and I'm gonna be gluing all this together, but I figured this is the best way to show you is how it comes off the print, the amount of work that is going to go into it. The hinge mounts for the hood, they didn't turn out very well. This one failed and this one turned out okay. What I'll do is reprint a front end, or I'll grind these off and draw up my own, and then I can place them in position too. So I think it might be easiest for me to just redesign some and mount them on there, taking the dimensions from this one here. So, but yeah, that turned out excellent. Piece de resistance, the grill turned out incredible. The quality of this is pretty darn good. So after finishing, it should be pretty spot on. I may have to reprint a couple pieces, but fits in there pretty good. The seams and the gaps are pretty nice. So anyway, that turned out excellent. This took the longest. The cab was a 17-hour print. Pretty crazy. No matter how I positioned it on the bed this way. And that was the quickest way and turned out the best too. So the detailing inside the doors turned out amazing. You know, clearly I got to clean this up a little bit. One mistake, there was a gap back here, but I'll be able to fill that in. I have a 3D printing pen that I will use to fill it in, and also show you guys the CA glues that I'm going to be working with. I picked up some new stuff, so that's the cab. The detailing of the door is excellent. I'm just gonna go slow, gluing it together, you know, not gonna rush it. And that's why I wanna just put out this video today to kind of show you guys, hey, I do have some prints made and I am working through this, so I don't wanna leave you hanging. So the hood just finished. So detailing on the hood, excellent. Very minimal layer lines. Got the tree supports, the spooky trees. I love the little tree supports. Let's see if we break this on video. So as you can see, like, that's 0.12 Z distance between the support and the hood, and it gives you a little bit to clean up. So pretty good. Excellent design. This 3D print seems to be good so far. So kudos to that designer. Oh yeah, I'll show you what CA glue I'm working with. I had to pick up some new stuff. Searching around on Amazon, came across this, what is this called? Camellia Camellia glue, horrible name. Camellia glue, thick super glue. Super fast setting. This was like 20 bucks for 2 bottles of it. So very good value, excellent reviews. I'll give it a try. Don't order it until I try it, until you watch the next video. But yeah, 2.3 ounce bottles times 2. So excellent deal for $20. Yeah, I really wanted to try this Star Bond. I've seen it in a bunch of videos and I got the thick clear. Comes with a bunch of application tips and a couple comes with a couple extra lids too, which is always nice. The good stuff always comes in these containers, so excited to try this. And I also ordered up the accelerator from Star Bond, which also works on other CA glues. I tried it on the HPD and it works well too. So yeah, so premium CA glue and then some Amazon stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I'll give you guys a breakdown of that in the next video, see how it all worked. But yeah, I'm gonna be cleaning this up and continue with the prints. In the next video, I'll have some of this glued together and cleaned up and maybe a coat of primer on it. We'll see. But yeah, need to move through this and just keep it moving because it is a pretty hefty build and I don't want to leave you guys hanging. So yeah, so stay tuned for next video. We'll have some body together. Hopefully we'll have the axle in by then. Maybe, maybe not. And I'll discuss which shocks I'm gonna order too. So stay tuned for the next video, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for stopping by. If you like my content, please subscribe. I will be making a playlist of this after a few videos, and then you'll be able to just click on that playlist and go from 1 to however many it takes. This could be a long build, so stay tuned. Thanks, everyone.